Nancy Mace being praised for exposing a far-left activist who Democrats called as a witness for an oversight hearing on extremist threats. Watch this.
Only a few weeks after the attempted attack on a Supreme Court justice on June 25th, one of the witnesses, Alejandra Caraballo, tweeted out the following in response to a decision on abortion. The 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. Do you believe your rhetoric is a threat to democracy?
I don't believe that's a correct characterization of my statements.
Did you not tweet that?
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. Joe, this happened at a House hearing on extremist rhetoric, and one of the witnesses has a history of extremist rhetoric. How is that possible?
Insane, right, Carly? And this took some real courage, by the way, by Nancy Mace, because the knee-jerk reaction by some in media, social media, is that somehow by pointing out these tweets that called for violent rhetoric, that called for violence against Supreme Court justices, would somehow be seen as anti-LGBTQ. Instead, Nancy Mace, like almost every other sane person in the country, is simply anti-threats to Supreme Court justices. And by the way, how did that tweet stay up under the old Twitter regime, calling for no peace for any Supreme Court justices? How did that survive the Trust and Safety Council exactly? Oh, that's right. Only one side was censored. I keep forgetting that, Todd.
How did Democrats call her in the first place? I mean, that just shows how not aware, not self-aware Democrats are. Speaking of not self-aware, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's new climate change documentary absolutely bombing at the box office this weekend. The film, titled To the End, finished at number 34 overall this past weekend and grossed less than $10,000 between 120 theaters. I'm going to do a little quick math for you. Get ready with the sad trombone, Joe. That is less than $80 per theater, not $80,000, 80. We're talking a cheap meal for 2 in New York City. Elites still love her, but has everyone else caught on by now, Joe?
Wow, $80. That's 3 drinks next door to your left. That's remarkable. What is $80 a theater exactly? 5 people showing up, maybe, for something that got the best reviews of any film since, like, Gladiator? This shows, once again, AOC is all sizzle, no steak, all hat, no cattle, whatever that means, all foam and no beer, to use Carly's term. And an analysis recently, by the way, showed that AOC is at the bottom in terms of being an effective member of Congress. She has yet to have one piece of sponsored or co-sponsored legislation passed, despite being in Congress for some years now. Yet the effusive praise from media just keeps coming because I guess she is really good at Instagram and has a lot of followers. Go figure,
Joe,
Carly.
speaking of all sizzle, no steak, now I'm hungry. But that's what some people say about Vice President Kamala Harris. Although there is a Washington Post columnist coming to her defense after being questioned about her viability as a presidential candidate. This WAPO columnist said if VP Harris is not having impact, it is mostly, perhaps entirely, because she is in the gilded prison known as the vice presidency. She is a much better and more effective politician than her current position allows her to demonstrate. She will be a formidable contender for the Democratic presidential nomination, if you can believe that that person said that. So it's the position she's in, not her.
Wow, that's funny because I look at polls, Carly and Todd, and I see that Kamala Harris is currently at 39% favorability, 54% unfavorability. That's 15 points underwater. When she last ran for president, she couldn't even get to Iowa. She dropped out in December of 2019. And, you know, I feel like in terms of her job performance, her #1 job as vice president, last check, was to fix the U.S. southern border. And she's only been there for about 5 minutes. And the situation is as bad as it's ever been in this country's history. So, look, she has an authenticity problem. She has an overall connectivity and communications problem with voters. But besides that, I think, yeah, she'll be a great presidential candidate.
The attempt to launder Kamala Harris for 2024 well underway. Somebody who needs no laundering because he's squeaky clean all the time. The great Joe Concha. Joe, thanks.
Thank you.
Steak and eggs. Having that next, Carly.
Oh, so good. Can't wait. Love it.
Yeah. You're pregnant. Go eat, please.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're pregnant.
I will. Thank you for the permission.
No problem.
I'm pregnant?
FYI.
Okay, cool.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.